My friends, time is the most precious gift we have, and yet it is the one thing we take for granted the most. We spend it as if we own an endless supply, not realizing that every moment slipping through our fingers will never return. Today, I want to remind you, stop wasting time because life is happening right now, not tomorrow, not someday, but here in this very breath you are taking. Time is the most precious gift we have, yet most of us treat it as if it were endless. We wait, we delay, we doubt, and in doing so we let life slip through our hands. Every second we waste questioning our own worth is a moment we could have spent creating something meaningful. Self-doubt is far more destructive than failure, because at least failure teaches us lessons, but doubt robs us of the chance to even try. The life you dream of will never be built on hesitation. It will only be built on courage, action, and trust in yourself. Too often, we tell ourselves we will start when the time is right, but the truth is there is no perfect time. Challenges will always exist, responsibilities will always be there, and fears will never completely vanish. If you wait for the perfect moment, you will spend your whole life waiting. The right time is now, this very moment, because the opportunity you are hoping for may not come again. Life rewards those who dare to take action in imperfect conditions. We also waste too much of our lives trying to please people who may never truly value us. No matter how much effort you put in, there will always be someone who criticizes, doubts, or misunderstands you. If you keep living for their approval, you will never live for yourself. Your time and energy are too precious to be spent proving your worth to others. Instead, invest it in your own growth, in the dreams that light your soul, and in the people who genuinely support you. Holding on to grudges is another way we let time slip away. Anger and resentment only chain us to the past, preventing us from living fully in the present. Forgiveness is not about saying what happened was okay. It is about freeing yourself from the weight of what you cannot change. When you forgive, you reclaim your peace and allow joy to enter your heart again. Don't waste today reliving yesterday's pain when you could be creating tomorrow's happiness. Comparison is another thief of time. We scroll, we watch, we measure ourselves against others, and think we are falling behind. But life is not a race, and no two journeys are the same. The only comparison worth making is with the person you were yesterday. Progress is what matters, not perfection, and each step you take toward becoming a better version of yourself is worth celebrating. When you stop comparing, you start appreciating, and gratitude always multiplies the blessings in your life. In the end, time wasted on fear, excuses, anger, and waiting always turns into regret. But time invested in love, kindness, learning, and courage turns into a legacy. Stop waiting for someone to rescue you. No, one is coming. You are your own hero, and you have always had the power to change your story. Don't waste your days chasing perfection or dwelling on what is gone. Live fully now, take bold steps, and let your actions reflect the life you want to create. The clock is ticking, and the only question is, how will you use your time? We often convince ourselves that we will begin once everything falls perfectly into place. But the reality is that perfection never arrives. Life will always present challenges, responsibilities will always demand our attention, and fear will always whisper reasons to wait a little longer. If we continue to wait for that flawless moment, we will spend our lives standing still. The truth is that the right time is not tomorrow, not someday. It is always now. Every great journey begins not when things are easy, but when someone dares to step forward despite the uncertainty. Delaying our dreams robs us of experiences we could have lived, lessons we could have learned, and growth we could have achieved. Waiting feels safe, but it quietly steals years from us. How many ideas have you held in your heart, telling yourself that you will begin when you feel ready? Readiness is a myth. Action is what creates readiness. When you take the first step, even without all the answers, you set things into motion. Movement builds clarity, and progress fuels courage. The excuses we create for ourselves are often just disguises for fear. We tell ourselves we are not skilled enough, not prepared enough, not supported enough. But the people who changed the world did not start with certainty. They started with determination. They acted in the face of fear and figured things out along the way. Excuses will never take you forward. Only action can do that. Every excuse delays your destiny, while every small effort brings you closer to it. Think about how much time is lost by comparing where we are to where others seem to be. Someone else's chapter 10 should never make you feel like your chapter 1 is worthless. The right moment for them is not the same as the right moment for you. Your path is unique, and the timing of your growth is designed for you alone. By constantly waiting to catch up to others, you miss the chance to embrace your own story. Instead of wishing for a different beginning, start exactly where you are with what you have. When we look back, it is never the risks we took that haunt us. It is the chances we didn't take. Regret is the heavy price of waiting for too long. The job not applied for, the words left unsaid, the dream left untouched. These become scars on our memory. Time does not pause for hesitation, and opportunities do not wait for our convenience. The only way to avoid regret is to act now while the chance is still alive. Every moment you hesitate is a moment you can never reclaim, so stop waiting for the perfect time because it will never come. Life is not about flawless conditions, it is about brave decisions. There will always be reasons to delay, but if you want to see change, you must move despite the noise. Take that first step today, even if it is small, even if it is uncertain. Each action you take builds the bridge to the life you dream of. The future belongs to those who dare to begin, not to those who endlessly wait. So much of our time is lost trying to please people who may never truly appreciate who we are. We bend ourselves into shapes that don't fit. We silence our own voice just to make others comfortable, and we give away our energy in the hope of being accepted. Yet no matter how much effort we put in, there will always be someone who doubts us, misunderstands us, or criticizes us. If we continue living for their approval, we end up losing ourselves in the process. Life is too short to spend chasing validation from those who cannot see our worth. When you constantly seek approval from others, you give them control over your happiness. Every compliment lifts you, but every criticism breaks you. That is no way to live. Happiness built on someone else's opinion is fragile, and it will always crumble. True joy comes when you no longer rely on the applause of others to feel whole. The people who truly love you will not demand perfection. They will accept you as you are and celebrate your growth instead of measuring it. There is freedom in choosing to live for yourself. It does not mean being selfish. It means being honest about your own needs, values, and dreams. When you stop wasting time trying to be everything for everyone, you finally create space to be who you are meant to be. Your purpose becomes clearer, your energy becomes stronger, and your life begins to align with what matters most to you. The world doesn't need a version of you that is watered down just to please others. It needs the authentic you. Many of us waste years in relationships, friendships, or environments that drain us because we are too afraid to disappoint people by walking away. But staying where you are not valued costs far more than leaving. You pay with your peace, your joy, and your potential. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is say no, even if it means others will not understand. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It is necessary for growth. When you start valuing yourself, you stop begging others to do it for you. You realize that the opinions of those who fail to see your worth do not define you. What defines you is the way you treat yourself, the way you pursue your dreams, and the way you choose to rise every time you fall. Self-worth is not something others hand to you. It is something you decide to own. And once you own it, you no longer waste time proving yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. In the end, people's opinions change like the wind, but your time is too precious to be blown away by every passing thought. You are not created to spend your life pleasing everyone. You were created to live with purpose, to grow, to love, and to leave your mark on the world. The moment you stop wasting time on approval is the moment you step into freedom. And in that freedom, you will finally find the courage to live the life that belongs to you. Holding on to grudges is like carrying a heavy weight on your shoulders, one that no one else can feel but you. Every time you replay the hurt in your mind, every time you cling to what someone did or didn't do, you are giving that moment more power than it deserves. The truth is, the pain of the past cannot be undone, but it can be released. When you hold on, you are not punishing the other person. You are only punishing yourself by reliving the same wound over and over again. Forgiveness does not mean that what happened was okay, nor does it mean you have to forget or allow the same hurt again. It simply means you choose peace over bitterness. It is a decision to stop letting yesterday steal today. The anger you hold within you burns energy that could have been used to heal, to love, to grow. Imagine what your life could feel like if you no longer carried the burden of resentment, if your heart had space for joy instead of pain. When you forgive, you take your power back. You no longer allow someone else's actions to control your emotions or dictate your future. It is not about excusing their behavior. It is about reclaiming your freedom. The past may have shaped you, but it does not have to imprison you. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the door to peace, and it is a gift you give to yourself more than to anyone else. So many people waste years in anger, believing that holding on to pain will somehow protect them, but in reality, it keeps them stuck. Life continues to move forward, yet their hearts remain trapped in old wounds. To let go is not weakness, it is courage. It takes strength to say, "I will not let this define me anymore." That choice transforms pain into wisdom and scars into strength. Think about how much lighter life feels when you no longer carry grudges. Conversations become freer, relationships become healthier, and your spirit becomes more at peace. The energy you once used to rehearse anger can be redirected into building dreams, nurturing love, and creating joy. Forgiveness creates room for growth because you can only move forward once you stop looking backward. In the end, the time we spend holding grudges is time we can never get back. The longer we hold on, the longer we delay our own healing. But the moment we forgive, the moment we let go, we set ourselves free. Life is too short to let yesterday's pain poison today's blessings. Choose peace, choose healing, and choose to live unchained from the past. Comparison is one of the easiest traps to fall into, and yet one of the most damaging. We scroll through other people's lives, we watch their achievements, and we begin to measure our worth against what they have or what they've done. Slowly, without even realizing it, we start to believe that we are behind, that we are not enough, that somehow our journey is less meaningful. But the truth is that no two stories are the same, and comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10 is never fair to you. Every person has walked through struggles you cannot see and faced challenges you may never know. What looks effortless on the outside is often built on years of unseen hard work, failure, and resilience. When you compare yourself to others, you ignore the battles you've already won and the progress you've already made. Instead of celebrating your own growth, you belittle it by measuring it against someone else's highlight reel. That is not only unkind to yourself, it is a waste of the precious time you could spend becoming better. The only person worth comparing yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Each day is a new opportunity to grow, to learn, and to move one step closer to the person you want to become. When you shift your focus from competing with others to competing with yourself, life feels lighter. Suddenly, success is not about being ahead of someone else. It is about being ahead of who you used to be. That is real progress, and it is the kind that builds confidence and peace. Comparison also blinds us to gratitude. When your eyes are fixed on what others have, you stop noticing the blessings in your own life. You miss the beauty in your journey because you are too busy wishing for someone else's. Gratitude and comparison cannot live in the same heart. The moment you start appreciating what you already have, you realize how much you have already grown and how far you have already come. There is power in embracing your uniqueness, your story, your struggles, your timeline. None of it has to look like anyone else's to be valuable. The world doesn't need another version of someone else. It needs the most authentic version of you. When you stop wasting energy on comparison, you free yourself to walk your own path with clarity and courage. You begin to create instead of copy, to shine instead of hide. In the end, comparison only steals joy and wastes time. No matter how much you look at someone else's path, it will never move you forward on your own. Your job is not to outdo anyone. It is to fulfill the purpose that was given only to you. Every moment spent comparing is a moment lost from building the life you truly want. So look within, measure your progress against your own growth, and remember, the only race worth running is the one with yourself. Excuses are the most comfortable lies we tell ourselves. They make us feel safe in the moment because they shift responsibility away from us. But deep down we know they are only keeping us from moving forward. We say we don't have enough time, yet we waste hours on distractions. We say we don't have enough resources, but history is full of people who built greatness out of nothing. Excuses are easy, action is hard, but only action creates change. Every time we make an excuse, we are choosing to stand still. We convince ourselves that the world is unfair, that others have more opportunities, that luck has skipped us. And while those things may sometimes be true, the question is, what will you do about it? Excuses give you reasons to wait, but action gives you results. If you want to see your life change, you cannot afford to let your story be defined by reasons why you didn't try. Excuses often come from fear. Fear of failing, fear of being judged, fear of not being enough. It feels easier to say, I can't, than to say I tried and it didn't work. But failure is not the enemy, excuses are. Failure teaches you lessons, shapes your resilience, and strengthens your character. Excuses teach you nothing. They keep you stuck in the same place, living the same life, year after year, while your dreams slowly fade into regrets. There is also a false comfort in waiting for the right conditions. We tell ourselves we will start once we have more money, more knowledge, more support, more confidence. But conditions are rarely perfect, and waiting for them is just another excuse. The truth is that clarity comes from doing, not waiting. Progress comes from starting where you are, with what you have, and learning along the way. The perfect time will never come, but your time is always now. When you stop making excuses, you take back control of your life. You stop blaming circumstances, people, or timing, and you begin to realize that change is your responsibility. Excuses make you powerless, but action makes you powerful. Even small actions, taken consistently, create momentum that excuses could never provide. With every step forward, you prove to yourself that progress is possible and that you are capable of much more than you believed. At the end of your life, excuses will not comfort you. They will not matter because they will not have built anything. What will matter are the moments you were brave enough to act, even when it was hard. Excuses lead only to regret, but action, whether it leads to success or failure, always leads to growth. If you want to stop wasting your precious time, stop justifying why you cannot and start showing yourself why you can. Regret is one of the heaviest weights a person can carry because it ties you to a past that you cannot change. We replay mistakes over and over in our minds, wondering what could have been if we had chosen differently, spoken differently, or acted sooner. But no matter how many times you revisit it, the past will not rewrite itself. What has already happened is fixed, and holding on to it only steals the time you still have. Regret is like staring at a closed door while ignoring all the open ones around you. The truth is, every single person has chapters of their life they wish they could rewrite. We all have missed chances, words we wish we could take back, and moments we would handle differently if given another try. But living in regret is like living in quicksand. The more you sink into it, the harder it is to move forward. Instead of using your energy to imagine what you cannot fix, you can choose to invest that energy into creating a new outcome today. It is important to remember that the past does not define you. it refines you. Every mistake, every loss, and every disappointment has taught you something valuable, even if the lesson came with pain. Regret only has power if you let it convince you that your story is over. In reality, your story is still being written, and you hold the pen. The chapters ahead can be filled with growth, redemption, and new victories if you choose to start writing differently now. The danger of regret is that it keeps you stuck in what if. What if I had tried? What if I had said yes? What if I had been braver? These questions sound endless, but they only serve to drain your energy. You cannot go back and change the what ifs, but you can create what's next. You can take the lessons of yesterday and turn them into fuel for today. That is how you honor your past, not by mourning it, but by using it to live better now. The only way to silence regret is through action. If you regret not starting sooner, then start now. If you regret not speaking up, then speak today. If you regret wasting opportunities, then open your eyes to the ones right in front of you. Action transforms regret into growth, because it proves to you that your future is not bound by your past. Every day you wake up is another chance to do things differently. In the end, regret is wasted time, but learning is never wasted. You cannot change the beginning, but you can always change the ending. Life is too short to spend it trapped in yesterday, when today holds so much possibility. Stop losing time to regret. Instead, use it as a reminder that you are still here, still capable, and still able to create something beautiful with the time you have left. Perfection is one of the biggest illusions we chase, and yet it is the one that wastes the most time. We tell ourselves we will start when things are flawless, when we are fully prepared, when we know exactly how everything will unfold. But that moment never comes. Perfection is like a mirage in the desert. The closer you think you get, the further it drifts away. While we wait for everything to be ideal, opportunities pass us by and time slips through our hands. When you chase perfection, you set a standard that is impossible to reach. You measure your worth against something that doesn't exist, and in doing so, you rob yourself of the joy of progress. The truth is, even the people you admire most did not arrive at their success by being perfect. They arrived by being consistent, by learning from their mistakes, and by moving forward despite the imperfections along the way. Perfection paralyzes, but progress builds momentum. Many dreams have died not because people lacked talent, but because they waited too long, trying to polish every detail before taking action. The song never gets sung, the book never gets written, the idea never gets shared, all because someone was waiting for flawless conditions. But the world does not need perfect. It needs real, it needs authentic, it needs progress. Your imperfect effort may be exactly what inspires someone else to start. The pursuit of perfection also steals joy from the journey. Instead of appreciating how far you've come, you focus only on what's missing. You look at your work and see flaws instead of growth. You look at yourself and see gaps instead of potential. This constant criticism keeps you from celebrating the little victories that eventually add up to big ones. Progress is built step by step, not all at once, and every small move forward is worth recognizing. When you shift your focus from perfection to progress, life becomes lighter. You no longer carry the weight of unrealistic expectations, and you allow yourself to grow at a natural pace. Each mistake becomes a lesson instead of a failure. Each attempt becomes practice instead of proof that you are not enough. Progress is honest, achievable, and sustainable, while perfection is nothing more than a shadow you will never catch. At the end of the day, perfection does not exist, but progress always does. The people who move forward in life are not the ones who wait until everything is flawless, but the ones who begin with what they have and improve along the way. Do not waste your time chasing an illusion that will never satisfy you. Use your time to take real steps, however small, and let those steps carry you closer to the life you want. Because progress, not perfection, is what creates transformation. Many of us waste precious years waiting for someone else to change our lives. We hope a mentor will appear, a friend will pull us up, or circumstances will suddenly align to make everything easier, but waiting for rest, you only leaves us disappointed and powerless. The truth is, no one is coming to save you. No one can live your life for you. No one can walk your path, and no one can fight your battles the way you must. The strength you are searching for outside is already within you. It is easy to believe that things will improve once the right person enters your life, or once someone finally recognizes your worth. But tying your future to the actions of others keeps you stuck. People may support you, encourage you, or inspire you, but they cannot build your life for you. At some point, you must realize that waiting for rescue is just another way of postponing your own responsibility. Becoming your own hero means deciding to stop waiting and start doing. It means taking ownership of your dreams, your healing, and your growth. Heroes are not born from comfort. They are born in moments when they face challenges head on and refuse to give up. You do not need someone else to hand you courage. You find it by choosing to rise even when fear whispers for you to sit down. The moment you choose action over waiting is the moment your story begins to change. When you rely too much on others, you set yourself up for disappointment. People can leave, fail, or let you down, but your determination is something no one can take from you. Depending on others to save you is giving away your power, but depending on yourself is reclaiming it. The more you step up for yourself, the more confident you become in your own ability to face whatever life throws your way. This does not mean you have to walk alone. Support systems, mentors, and loved ones are valuable, but they are meant to walk with you, not carry you. The journey is still yours to take. The role of others is to stand beside you, not to drag you forward. When you stop waiting for someone else to create your path, you start paving it yourself. And that is when real progress begins. At the end of your life, you will not remember who you waited for. You will remember the moments you chose to be brave for yourself. You will remember the times you picked yourself up when no one else could, and the victories you claimed because you refused to give up. Stop wasting time waiting for rescue. You are the hero of your story, and the power to change your life has always been in your hands. Time wasted on fear, excuses, anger, and endless waiting eventually transforms into regret. The moments we spend hesitating, holding back, or clinging to negativity are moments we can never get back. Fear convinces us that stepping forward is too risky. Excuses convince us that we are not ready, and anger convinces us to stay stuck in the past. All of these are thieves of time, and if we let them, they will quietly steal years from us until one day we look back and realize we spent more time surviving than actually living. Regret is not born from the risks we take. It is born from the chances we never gave ourselves. Nobody lies awake at night wishing they had worried more or delayed longer. What haunts us are the opportunities missed, the words left unspoken, and the dreams we never dared to chase. Time wasted will always echo as what if in our hearts, and that echo grows louder with age. The only way to silence it is to make sure we are using our time with intention today. On the other hand, time invested in love always multiplies. When you spend time being kind, building relationships, and lifting others, that time leaves a mark that outlives you. Kindness creates ripples you may never fully see, but they continue long after you are gone. The hours you dedicate to giving, serving, and supporting will not return to you as regret. They will return to you as fulfillment, knowing that your presence made a difference. Time invested in learning is also never wasted. Every skill you build, every lesson you embrace, every failure you turn into wisdom becomes part of your foundation. Learning takes effort, but it shapes you into someone who can handle more, create more, and give more. Unlike excuses, which leave you empty, learning leaves you enriched. And the knowledge you gather is not only for you. It becomes something you can pass down, something that continues beyond your lifetime. Courage is another powerful way to invest your time. Choosing to act even when you are afraid is what allows you to create moments worth remembering. Courage transforms ordinary days into extraordinary stories. When you look back, It will not be the comfortable moments that stand out, but the ones where you took a leap, spoke up, or kept going when it would have been easier to quit. Courage builds a legacy of resilience that inspires others long after your time has passed. In the end, the difference between regret and legacy is how we choose to use our time. Wasting it on fear and excuses leads to a life of what could have been, but investing it in love, kindness, growth, and courage leads to a life that matters. Time is the one resource you can never earn back, but it is also the one that, when spent wisely, can leave an impact greater than you imagine. The question is not whether time will pass at will. The question is whether you will waste it or use it to build something that lasts. So my friends, stop wasting time. Don't wait for tomorrow to start living. Don't wait for permission to chase your dreams. Don't wait for someone to tell you that you are enough. You already are. The clock is ticking, and every moment is your chance to live fully, love deeply, and shine brightly.